All right. All right. So welcome once again, everybody. It's another beautiful week. This is the second week in June. All right. So this week we're just going to take tonight we're taking a look at a cursory look at what the market looks like from the larger perspective. All right, and then from there we can begin to formulate biases for the week. All right. So we're going to be starting with the indices. All right, we're going to be starting with the indices. I think first of all, we're starting with AXY. All right, and as you can see, based on my analysis on the weekly time frame, AXY is short for Australian index. All right. All right, so AXY is short for Australian index, and as at the moment we're saying that AXY is currently at AXY is currently at this resistance area. All right, so basically based on what we're seeing right now on AXY, we should be having some interesting reaction during the course of the week, which tells us that we should see the Australian index getting weaker. All right. Thank you for that, Mr. Tim. So I think there's a public holiday in Europe tomorrow. So the London session might be a bit slow. But nonetheless, I think altogether this week we're set for some interesting moves. As you can see, we have the Australian dollar index at the resistance, all right, which means we can expect it to get weaker. All right. For the pound index, I think we're expecting a bit of a push all the way up here. We know price might want to retest lower before shooting up, or rather before going higher. But nonetheless, we're confident that the overall movement should be to strengthen the pound this week. All right, so we're expecting strength for the pound. All right, so let's take a look at CXY. As you can see, the Canadian dollar is also at a resistance level. All right, I think I gave the setup at this point 3-4 weeks ago. All right, and so far we've seen price, come back into this other block, which was also spotted or marked out. All right, so we should be seeing the Canadian dollar get weaker, get a bit weaker over the next couple of days. All right, so let's see DXY, the dollar index. All right, so currently the dollar index has changed my bias a little bit. All right, seeing how that we've had a break above this previous high. All right, and then we formed a higher low at this point. All right, so we could see the dollar get stronger, probably to come into this level. All right, we could see the dollar get stronger in this manner. All right, before a drop. All right, so that's my expectation for the dollar, a stronger dollar on the overall for at least a couple of days. Let's see EXY, which is for the Euro index. All right, and currently at the Euro index, we can see that price is at another resistance. All right, we could see price go higher a little bit, all right, for a couple of days before we see a major drop on the euro. All right, so what that means is that on commodities like AUD, USD, we should be looking at bearish movements. All right, we should be As you can see, this is a bearish break of structure. Right, on the daily time frame, all right. So currently AUD USD we might be seeing bearish momentum. All right. So something like this, all right, based on the 4 hours time frame. Okay, so some of the most important areas to watch out for would be along that area. All right, so we see a break of structure, break of trend line. All right, and then price taps higher to give us some interesting movement. All right. Okay, so that's AUD USD. I think NZD USD should be setting up for a sell too. All right, sorry, let me take a screenshot of this. All right, so let's see NZD USD. All right, NZD USD actually took me out initially last week because I had this pending order. I expected a reaction from this zone. All right, but later on we can see that the reaction actually ended up happening. All right, so basically at this point, I think I want to see a break below this previous low. All right. All right, perhaps something along this line to give a clear indication that we're ready to go lower. Yeah, okay, I think that works. I think that still works. All right, so that's NZD USD. As you can see, we're having some interesting overall bearish momentum. All right, so I think that bias still stands. All right, so for NZD USD, it's still a bearish bias. All right, the same thing USD card. I think we should be looking for buy opportunities. All right, because as you can see, this is a zone here. This is a pivot zone. All right, based on, I think it's a 2 hour or 1 hour order block. Basically, we had reaction from this turnkey level here that gave rise to this other block. All right, it's an hidden order block, nonetheless, because as you can see, that other block is not one that is very obvious. All right, but nonetheless, I think we should expect some interesting reaction from that area. All right, so maybe on the lower time frame. All right, on the lower time frame, we could see something along these lines. All right. All right, something along this line. Okay, so that would be my own preferred entry on USD card. All right. Let me take a look at DXY again. All right, so like I said on DXY, we might see price retest lower. Let me see the 4 hours. Okay. All right, so let's see how this plays out during the week. All right, so GBP USD. All right, so GBP USD, as you can see, I have this area marked, all right, based on this other block, and price stepped into it and gave this rejection. All right, but nonetheless, I think I'd want to see a clear break of that other block, all right, so that we can continue to anticipate continuations along that direction. All right, so we can continue to expect prices to come probably this low, all right, or maybe even lower. Or maybe even lower. So that's the current state, all right? That's the current state of things. I think we also want to take a look at gold. All right, strengthening dollar would imply bearish momentum on gold. All right, so as you can see, we already have this bearish momentum on gold at the moment. Kindly mute your mic, please. All right, so we're expecting some bearish continuation on gold. All right, seeing that based on what we saw on the DXY, the dollar is still quite strong and could be increasing in strength. All right, so I think that's it. All right, so this is gold currently, and we might see a reaction coming probably lower into this area, all right, or probably one of the zones that I marked earlier. All right, but nonetheless, like I always say, we want to see clear confirmations for whatever it is that we're going to be, for whatever bias we're going to be working with. All right, we want to see very clear confirmations. All right, so either from this other block or this other block, we might see a reaction so that gold can continue bullish. All right, because as you can see, we've broken structure on the 4 hours time frame. Broken structure on the 4 hours time frame. We might continue higher. So that's for gold. All right. Does anybody have any commodity they would like us to take a look at quickly? Does anybody have any commodity they would like us to take a look at, please? GBP AUD. All right, let's do that. GBP AUD. All right, this is GBP AUD on the 4 hours time frame. All right. On the daily time frame, we're still inside this zone. All right. We talked about AUD getting weaker, GBP also getting weaker. All right. So we can expect prices to go higher. All right. We can expect prices to go higher, probably from a zone like this. All right. But nonetheless, my confirmation still stands. I want to see a clear movement. I want to see a break of structure. I want to see, clear indications of what exactly it is that price intends to do. All right, a clear indication of the exact things that price intends to do. So I think that's GBP AUD. All right, that's GBP AUD, NZD USD too. I think we already took a look at NZD USD. I think we talked about NZD USD earlier. Yes, we did. Talked about NZD USD earlier, and I talked about the fact that we might see NZD USD probably retrace a little bit higher. Before we continue much lower. All right. So I think that's for NZD USD. Is there any other commodity would like to take a look at? All right, I think this was NAS 100 analysis, a NASDAQ analysis from last week. AUD USD, I think we talked about AUD USD already too, but I think I'll just show you again. This is NASDAQ from last week. I talked about the fact that we should expect prices to go lower from this other block. All right, and as you can see, the reaction is currently playing out. All right. Might want to watch out for this level, or probably we get a break of that level. Maybe coming to that area, right? Maybe dance around a little bit, come lower or something. But be sure to get the best confirmations that we've talked about. All right. The entry confirmations is what really matters. All right. This is AUD USD, and this is what we discussed. We talked about the fact that for AUD USD, if you missed this initial entry here, all right, the best course of action would be to wait for a break of structure here, all right, unless you are quite proficient with lower time frame trading, all right, and you're able to quickly skim off some pips, maybe from a strong zone or something like that, all right. But that's my expectation, all right, that price breaks structure, all right, breaks below these two previous lows, all right, and after that we come for a retest somewhere around here before continuing lower. Any other commodity? Let's take one last commodity, please. All right, GBPJPY, thank you. We'll take a look at GBPJPY shortly. All right, this is Euro AUD, and as you can see, this is the other block on the daily time frame. All right, there's another block right inside there. 4 hours time frame. All right. So as you can see, price is reacting from that other block. So what we can do is come to the lower time frame. All right. So that would be the expectation. All right. So are we clear about this, please? Before I go into the GBPJPY. All right. Let's take a look at JPY basket first. All right, as you can see, this is the yen basket. All right, and if you look here, you see that the analysis has been spot on. All right, we talked about price breaking structure coming back for a retest. All right, the retest could either happen around here, all right, or maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so we're expecting JPY to get stronger, maybe from Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, we're expecting the JPY to start getting stronger probably from Tuesday or Wednesday. All right. So based on that, I think it's important that we consider that in our GBPJPY analysis. All right. And considering the fact that this is a trend line at the top of a wedge, we've seen the way the daily candle closed. All right. It closed as a bearish reversal, as a bullish reversal candle. And I want to show us that on the daily time frame, so we see that. All right, so this is GBPJPY, all right. We've seen that around this other block zone, all right. So the expectation is that GBPJPY drops lower, all right, comes all the way down there, all right. So please let me know if this is clear, all right. So GBPJPY, we're looking for bearish entries. Are we clear about this, please? All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're welcome. All right, thank you.